What's up, guys? MiddleAgedGamer here, otherwise known as T-Mag, and we're playing Train Simulator 2017. As you guys know, Train Sim World's not out quite yet. And we're going to be doing part 2 of a Lubeck to Hamburg career scenario. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you guys which one I'm doing. Let me find it real fast. Here we go. So if you guys haven't seen part 1, please go ahead and watch it. It's going to be on the screen right here. Take a look at that one. If you've already watched that, let's go ahead and continue on with part 2. This is Lubeck to Hamburg, part 2. We're using the DB DAB coaches, and it's being pushed by the BR218. About 30 minutes long, easy. I just played this. I literally got a 973. Made a huge mistake at the end, and it's actually a really easy mistake to make. I'm sure some other people made it, judging by the scores of 973 and under 1,000. Anyways, it's autumn, cloudy. It's about 3 p.m. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. It says, hello again, driver. Finished service by heading down to Hamburg. Passengers here at Bad Oslo have already boarded, and you're ready to depart. So everything's already boarded. Put the reverser forward. Take the brakes off. Let's get going. Again, kind of be careful on the percentage. Don't go straight to 100%. Otherwise, you will get wheel slip. And let's just make sure our headlights are on real quick. Yep, they are. So we're good on that. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Get up to 120 kilometers initially. And looking at the task list, it looks like the very first platform we're actually going via. We don't have to stop there. It's about 11.5 kilometers out. And our first stop's going to be in just over 18 kilometers. And that will be actually the only stop before we get to the Hamburg station, so it should be a relatively quick journey, hopefully 20 to 30 minutes at most. And we will be able to go up to 160 kilometers per hour right there. Just make sure you keep it under 120 before that time frame. Go. Be cleared for 160 here shortly. There we go. Let's go ahead and pick it back up again. And once we lock it in around 160 kilometers per hour, we'll go ahead and do a couple train buys, look at the inside of the train, and get some exterior shots for you guys. Lots of countryside, as you guys can see. Pretty neat. Let's do a couple train buys real fast, and I'll keep an eye on the speed as we go. We're around this gentle bend right here. Passing by a cargo train right there. There's the pusher right there. Just gonna blow my horn before the platforms when I can. Just to warn people. Again, you don't necessarily have to do that. Do they do that in Europe? Probably not. But it adds a little sound effect and gives me something to do along the way as well. Other good thing about this particular train Let me get inside here. As you can see, got some plush blue seats. And drink some coffee right there. And let's go ahead and watch the countryside as we pass by here for a little bit. Okay, we've got about 4 kilometers to go before our waypoint hits. And we'll be headed into our first platform after that. As you can see on the graph below, we do have to get down to 100 kilometers per hour. It's always good to start braking at least a kilometer out to get underneath that particular amount. Let's go ahead and get back in cab since we got a couple things coming up. Very important we do this. Go ahead and let it coast for just a second, and we'll start braking right about now. I have it in step 3 for the brake right now, and that should be plenty to get us underneath the 100 kilometers per hour. There we go. Already under 100 with a good quarter of a kilometer to go. Excuse me, my allergies have been killing me. We'll be able to get back up to 160 here shortly. Go on time. First checkpoint for the 250. Go ahead and speed it back up. Man, I can't stop coughing. Apologize about that. Alright, it's just under 6 kilometers to go before our first platform. You can see doing 160 kilometers per hour makes pretty quick lapses in between the stations there. In other words, the journey is actually really, really quick. ETA is looking good too. We're about, was it about 30 seconds or so ahead of schedule, which is nice. Not have to worry about coming into the platform too quickly. So we do have a reduction of speed coming up down to 120. And then we'll have a second reduction of speed coming down to 60 shortly after that. Now I just want to give you guys a quick heads up before you play this particular mission. The 60 actually hits at this signal right here, and you'll see it on the line here in a minute if you're watching or paying attention. Very, very important that you don't break or you get below 60 before this signal right here, and don't try to do it before it actually states on the map. All right, let's go ahead and get beneath the 120 real quick. And look at the signals coming up. You'll see the 6 right there. Means basically by the next signal you need to be under 60 kilometers per hour. Very, very, very important you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and brake all the way down to 60. There we go. We're at 60 kilometers to go, and we'll be stopping here shortly. There's another number down there. You can't really read it. It actually states 120, and it will fix itself as we get into the platform here shortly. ETA is looking pretty good. We're still under the arrival time. Go. Let's go ahead and start braking. All right, it says, hello again, driver. Finish the service by heading down to Hamburg. Passengers here at Bad Oslo have already boarded and you're ready to depart. So let's go ahead and put the reverser forward, take the brake off, and we'll get moving forward. I just want to double check that the headlights are in fact on, which they are. Let's go ahead and slowly increase the percentage. Be very careful on the drive quality. You can get wheel slip taken off or deductions for drive quality if you brake too hard with this particular train. So it's very important you take your time getting up to speed and up to power. Basically don't push the little pusher too hard, otherwise it will push back, so to speak. Go. Let's go ahead and get back in cab. You can see on the graph below we can get up to 160 here shortly. Just make sure you don't go over the 120 until you get to that point. If this is your first time watching me, please hit the subscribe button below. It definitely helps me out. You can also follow me at twitch.tv/themiddleagedgamer. I would definitely appreciate it. Almost to the 160 here. We'll look at the task list and do a couple of train buys here in a little bit as well. Alright, look at the task list. First platform that we're actually driving by is just about 9.5 kilometers. And our first stop is going to be in about 16. Full, I guess, route to Hamburg, which is, I guess, actually half of the route from Lubeck, is just under 40 kilometers. So it's actually going to be a really quick journey, probably about 20 to 30 minutes at the absolute most, depending on the speed signaling that we get along the way. Now let's go ahead and take a look on the outside real fast. Lots of countryside, really good scenery in my opinion, and the frame rate seems to be really good on this particular route, which I like. I'm sure the frame rate will probably dip a little bit once we get into Hamburg with all the scenery out there. This looks like is that a freight train? Yeah, passing by a freight train right there. Other good thing about this particular train is it does have an interior view right here. The plush blue seats. Nice little coffee mug right there. We'll go ahead and just watch the exterior countryside here for a minute or two before we get back in the cab. About 5.5 kilometers to go to our first platform, as you can see. Our speed's steady at 158 too, which is good. Keep in mind you can use, I think it's called the AFB, basically to limit your speed. You can put it at 160 and do 160 the entire time. I do things a little bit the harder way. I like to manually control my speed, and if I go over, then I'll get deductions and points, but that's the way I like to do it. So to each and their own, you can do whatever you want to do. 4 kilometers to go. And you can see on the graph below, we do have to get down to 100 kilometers per hour by that marker. Very important that you do that. We're getting really, really close to our waypoint. You can see our ETA is slightly over the arrival time. I think we should be fine though at the speed we're going. Let's go to get back in cab. And pretty much you're going to want to go ahead and start reducing your speed about 1 kilometer out. And you can use brake 3 to get down the speed. And it should give you about 1/4 kilometer to just coast. That way you're not getting too far out. So we're going to reduce the speed. Let's get our brake up. I'm on brake 3. Took my time braking so I didn't get a drive quality error. And at 1/4 mile, as you can see, I'm easily under the 100 kilometers per hour. Go ahead and release the brake. And we'll just kind of coast along till we get to the 160 marker down below us and pick speed back up. Anyways, if there's any particular route or a particular game you want to see me play, go ahead and comment below and put cheers on there. It's always good to give me a shout. There's another passenger train we're passing by right there. If I have the particular route, I will try to do the mission for you. You're also welcome to donate as well. That'd be awesome of you guys. Just keep in mind, we did collect over $2,000 in donations in the past about 2 years or so. I want to thank all of you guys for that. Moving forward, we do a much more casual recording and stream schedule. And if you guys donate, it's solely going to just probably for the stream, you know, to buy free games to give away. Which, as you guys know, if you watch my Twitch channel, I do give away games almost every time as long as we have viewers in there watching me. And ultimately, again, I'm not really worried about the donations this time around. Might try to sign up for a charity event or two to do a 24-hour stream at some point in the future, but that's to be announced. Now it's going to get back up to 160. We've got about 5 kilometers to go before our first platform where we're stopping. Let's go ahead and do a couple of train buys on the straightaway right here. Allergies are killing me. Again, we do have a reduction in speed coming up. And this is going to be kind of a tricky one right here. So you have to get down to 120. There's a signal shortly after where you have to get down to 60 kilometers per hour. I'm going to go ahead and get back into the cab right now. And if you look at the track side, it will actually tell you with the little number that you have to get down to 60 kilometers per hour coming up. So keep an eye on the signals that we're passing by, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Alright, look right here at the signal to the right. There you go. That's basically telling you by that next signal you need to be down to 60 kilometers per hour. Very, very important that you look at that. Do not get down to 60 kilometers per hour by the time it says on the map, otherwise you will be speeding by that time. We're almost down to 60 before even the 120 marker right there. So signal's coming up right here around the bend. We're already under the 60 kilometers per hour, which is good. And our ETA is actually slightly ahead of the arrival time, which is good as well. So things are going smoothly. No deductions as of yet. And then again, even though you're only doing 60, be careful on your braking coming into the station. If you overbrake, you will get drive quality and get some deduction on points. So definitely try to avoid that if you can. ETA is going to be almost on point with our arrival time from the looks of it. Possibly slightly after by a couple seconds, not a problem. Alright, let's go ahead and get stopped real quick towards the end of the platform. Then we'll load and unload passengers here. There we go. Doors are opened. We'll take a look at the task list as we get back in the cab here in just a minute. Good scenery all the way around the station. Really, really nice, as you guys can see. There we go. Another 250 points on our way towards 1,000. Doing really, really good. Let's go ahead and get out of the station real quick. Okay, I'm slowly stepping up the percentage instead of going straight to 100%, just to avoid wheel slip. I got about 15.5 kilometers to go to our next waypoint, and we'll be able to go up to 160 again here shortly, which will make pretty quick time of those kilometers. All right, let's go and get back in cab real quick. Take a look at the task list as we get up to speed. So yeah, 15 kilometers to go to the waypoint. Hamburg, it's only 21 kilometers to go. So we're about halfway there, and this is going to be a pretty short journey from this point on. There we go, got clearance for 160. Pretty neat thing, which would be good in real life. You don't really need it on the game, unfortunately, is this little day shade right here. You can manually adjust it, similar to like what you would have in an RV. And if you've ever been in an RV driving into the sun, it's a nightmare unless you have one of these to where you can lower it. So, of course, you don't need it in this game per se, but it's a nice feature to have on there. Let's speed it up just a little bit more, maybe to 158, and we'll drop back to power a little bit. There we go. Let's go ahead and do a couple train buys real fast. Watch the beautiful train pass by. Actually get to take a little bit of a break for once. It's always nice. And then we can get back inside, just kind of do an interior view for a little bit. Ten kilometers to go. Some cows right there. It's pretty neat. Nine kilometers. Passed by a freight train right there. Kilometers. I'll show you guys what I made a mistake on the first go around as we get into Hamburg. Very, very important you watch the very end of this video to figure that out. Otherwise, I can almost guarantee that you might make a really, really big mistake. And it seems like it's a innocent enough mistake, but I sat there literally for 2 minutes trying to unload passengers and it wouldn't let me, so I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and get back in the cab real quick. Again, we're at 158 out of 160 kilometers per hour, which is good. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. ETA is about 20 seconds ahead, so that's fine. And you can see where I'm talking about the casual stream and the little scrolling text up above. Doing a lot more multiplayer streams in the future as well, especially with American Truck Sim. Once they release another state or two, and probably some ETS2 for my European and American friends. All right, I have to get down to 120 coming up. Very important that you do that. Go ahead and start braking, that way we don't have to rush the braking section. See the platform we're going to pass by coming up. We'll go ahead and brake just a little bit more. Make sure I stay under that 120 marker. I'd rather be a few miles per hour, kilometers per hour underneath that just in case. All right. Waypoint's about 1¼ kilometers off or so. Go ahead and blow my horn one last time as we pass the station. You can see we do have a reduction on the graph below down to 100. Just be pretty vigilant on the map. Probably gonna get down to 100 by that signal just in case. we go. Went ahead and got under 100 just in case. We're about 5.5 kilometers out from Hamburg, the main terminal. ETA is about a minute, almost 2 minutes ahead. So I don't mind taking my time coming into Hamburg. Oh, that guy just completely blew the intersection right there. Crazy drivers. It's a good way to kill yourself right there. We're going to have to get down to 60 and then 40 here shortly. Three and a half kilometers to go to Hamburg. Go. We're right at 60. ETA is still looking good. Under 3 kilometers. Signals are still looking good. There's the 6 for under 60 kilometers. A lot of stuff loading on the screen with the scenery coming in. Unfortunately, while you guys get to stare at the scenery, I have to pay attention to the speeds. So enjoy it while it lasts. Go passing by this platform. And just keep an eye on the track because you are going to start picking up speed here in just a second going downhill. This looks like a little uphill section maybe. I think this will probably start the downhill section here, maybe. We'll see. You see Hamburg platform on the map right there. And the most important part of this journey is about to come up. ETA is still looking okay. Alright, now we're on the downhill section. You can see how fast it's going up. So just make sure to stay under 40 at this last part right here. Alright, so basically the big thing is you need to stop inside the terminal coming up right here. If you go past it to the end of the platform, you will not be able to unload passengers. And this is what I made a mistake in the last recording I was trying to do. So you need to stop in here where all the restaurants and everything else is on 7B and 7A. So let's go and get stopped. There we go. And release passengers right there. And that worked this time. Had I gone towards the end of the platform just down that way, which it looks like you can unload over there, it would not work. You have to unload inside this terminal here, and I'll just free motion the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Very, very important to stop with inside this little area right here to unload and load. Otherwise, you won't be able to beat the mission and get 1,000 of 1,000. Alright, so hopefully that should be 1,000 of 1,000. We'll see what happens. I did actually get 2 achievements by playing this mission. I think one was for playing the route for an extended period of time or doing so many kilometers. But there's also one for, I think, getting above 750 points, if I remember right. Both of those, unfortunately, will not pop this time around, but it's not a big deal. There you guys go. Well done. This concludes the 2-part full-length run from Lubeck to Hamburg. Select scenario. Hamburg to Lubeck part 1 from the career. So basically we have to go back from Hamburg to Lubeck on the next part. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that for YouTube or not, but I definitely appreciate everybody for watching me out there. Please leave me a comment below. Say cheers if you watched all the way to the end. Definitely appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.